This is basically my hobby. I enjoy what I do. It's what I enjoy most is buying and selling records.
I'm here with Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hello there. All right.
So you weren't here last time.
No. I think I was on holiday. I think I went to the sunny climes of Egypt.
Oh, okay. So you've got some stuff to show. People were loving the stuff. So let's
Yeah, I've decided to go a bit left field today. I normally my bag normally is soul, Motown, but I've been picking up a few bits and pieces, a little bit out of my comfort zone. But so I want to show you these today. This is a band called Bluesology.
Yeah.
This is Bluesology, which was Elton John's first band. He was a member of Bluesology, and this is arguably his first record that he wrote. And I don't think he produced it.
What's it called?
It's called
Come Back
Baby.
Reg Dwight.
Yeah, Reg Dwight, which is, as you know, Elton John's real name. So this is the very first record that Elton John did, and as you can see, it's a demonstration copy. And this one in particular is a really, really nice copy. I don't know where it's been for the last 60 years, but I don't think it's been too near a record player in that
And what's
time.
the B-side? Come on, baby. Time's getting tougher than tough.
Yeah, that's
Witherspoon.
yeah, it's a cover an old R&B thing.
Okay.
Jimmy Witherspoon. So
So how much is that?
that to you, if you want to buy it today, you can have it for 400 quid. Yeah.
400 quid at the ASHTEAD Record Fair. If you want the Reg Dwight first single, it'll be at the next fair.
Right, moving on from Elton John, we're going on to Mark Bolan.
Oh, T-Rex.
No, much earlier than T-Rex.
Right.
This is Mark Bolan, and he did several very early things. One was called The Wizard.
Hippie Gumbo.
Yeah, and this was another one. This is a very hippie trippy thing. It's not to everybody's taste, but it's an extremely rare record.
1966.
And
Not
it's-
for sale, so that's a demo.
Yeah, this
Demo
is
disc.
another demo.
Right, we've had to come out the back because other dealers refuse to not play music, which is very annoying. So yeah, we talked about Reg Dwight, and
Yeah.
I think you've got something to do with.
Mark Bolan.
Mark
Yeah,
Bolan.
this is one of Mark Bolan's very, very early recordings. He had several in the very, very early days. One was called The Wizard, which came out roughly about the same time as this. This dates from 1966, very early in the history of Mark Bolan. And this is a track called Hippie Gumbo, which, as you can implies, it's a very airy, well, to put it bluntly, it's a bit airy fairy hippie trippy thing, but it was
What's it say that one? Robin's Music.
yeah, well, that's just the publishers,
Right.
I mean, it was of its time. It's a very rare record, and as you can see, it's in a demonstration form. You could probably have that record off me today.
Let's have a look at the back. Misfit, Mark Bolan. Producer Simon Napier Bell.
Yeah, Simon Napier Bell.
Oh, right. So how much is that?
Well, unfortunately, if you wanted that, it would probably cost you in excess of £1,000.
Oh!
I mean, it's a lovely clean copy, and you know, it is what it is. You know, these records are not easy to find
Unless you're at the ASHTEAD Record Fair.
unless you're the estimate. And of course, if you know, it's no use saying, oh, that's a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, if you want the record, they are that rare.
Some people on the comments have said that stuff's too pricey and they get cheap. Some people get good deals, don't they?
The thing is, from a dealer's perspective, I can only charge an amount of money commensurate with what I paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, if I beat an old lady over the head and nicked her record collection,
You don't do that.
and you know, and got it for next to nothing, then my pricing structure would reflect that. But if I'm paying serious money, these records, when they come up for sale, are priced accordingly. So if I have to pay that sort of money,
You've got to make a profit, haven't you?
yeah, I mean, I've, I've got to turn it around. I mean, I tend to operate at the top end of the market, and as a consequence, I've got to pay market prices. So it's more risky at that end. I mean, I could spend all my time buying £3 albums to sell them for a £5 or a tenner, whatever. But that's not what I've ever done.
You're selling records that interest you, aren't you?
Yeah, £3 albums, £5 albums don't interest me at all. I'm not decrying people that buy them records. I mean, you buy what you want. But if you're a true collector, and a lot of people deride true collectors because they're anal or they're obsessives or whatever. But true collectors spend their money how they wish to spend them. We don't moan at people if they want to shove white powder up their nose and not get anything out of it.
Well, we don't condone that, Dave.
No, we don't condone that.
We don't condone that.
We definitely don't condone that. But the point I'm making is people today spend their money how they want to spend it. If they want to spend it on rare records, no one knocks people if they want to spend it on rare stamps or rare toys or
Rare art.
Or rare art. It's these all these rare records are dictated by market forces at the end of the day. So I'm only going with market forces. So anybody that criticise my pricing structure don't really understand the market, to be honest.
Yeah, anyway, there's a lot of weird comments on YouTube. We don't worry about it.
Right.
If you're watching this, leave a comment, follow the channel. And Dave's got, what you got here, Dave?
Right, this is the first Genesis single.
Oh.
The very first Genesis single called The Silent Sun.
On Decca.
On Decca. I mean, once again, it's a rare record. Genesis aren't the biggest collectible group. A lot of people sneer at Genesis for a great extent. But this came out before they was barely known.
What year is this, Dave?
This is 68.
Right, okay.
Once again, I know I'm playing the old violin here again. It's an extremely rare record.
But it hasn't got the songwriter's name, I notice. It says just Genesis, so it must be the whole band of the publishers.
Yeah.
Unlike Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the B-side, I haven't got my glasses. I think the B-side is the credit
Genesis.
is Genesis.
Jonathan King.
Oh, it's produced.
Oh, well, Jonathan King?
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, Jonathan King was very instrumental in the early days of Genesis.
Was he?
I mean, he produced early Genesis. I mean, he was quite big on the scene at the time, Jonathan King, as a producer. I mean, he had a very short career as a pop star, didn't he?
Yeah.
But then he moved into production. So yeah, I mean, Lee said about Jonathan King about.
Yeah, Lee said. Right, so we've had Reg Dwight, Elton John.
Yep.
We've had Mark Bolan.
Yep.
We've had Genesis. Now I can see something else hiding there.
Well,
Fontana.
without being criticised for being playing the same old tune, this is the very first single and the only single, if I remember, as a solo artist by Jimmy Page, who, as everybody knew, was an integral part of Led Zeppelin.
Still is.
Yeah, I mean, in the very early days of the early part of the 60s, Jimmy Page was very sought after as a session musician, and
So he's singing on this.
oh yeah, there is, and
She just
satisfies. It's quite a good track actually. As is the B-side, it's quite a good track.
So that is Keep Moving, Jimmy Page, Barry Mason, and that one is also Barry Mason and Jimmy Page.
I mean, Jimmy Page is credited about where he doesn't even know, and nobody's got a definitive answer of how many records he played on. And bearing in mind, he was only about 18, 19 at the time. He was a bit of a child prodigy at the time. And he was well sought after on the London scene for doing session work. But bizarrely, I don't know how it ever came about, but he actually went into the studio and cut a record for himself.
And what year is that?
This is 64.
Right, so he would have been young.
And it's a really good, it's not a bad track at all actually.
And what's the damage on that?
Well, funny enough, you mentioned damage. There was a scratch. There's a slight scratch on the B side, which it's unfortunate. The A side is perfect, which fortunately enough.
I know it's got a hole there, so it's not perfect.
I say the A side is perfect. The B side's got not a nasty, but it's got a faint mark on it that clicks very faintly. I mean, fortunately enough, the music is quite loud and pronounced, so it doesn't detract too much. But the A side plays perfect.
And what's the damage on that?
Well, once again, that cost you over £1,000.
Right. Okay. So if you have £1,000 lying around and you're in ASHTEAD in the record fair, I'll put the date on the screen now. Dave will see you, and you might be able to have that.
Yeah, but
and Dave doesn't sell online. Dave only sells at fairs.
But as I say, I defend myself robustly of accusations of the pricing. The pricing structure is based on market forces and
rarity, I suppose,
and desirability and collectability. So anybody that looks at these prices and thinks they're astronomical, they're all out of all proportion, really don't understand the collector's market. If you want to buy £3, £5 albums, I don't have a problem with that. But if you want records for a collection, and see anybody that don't collect records or any other collectability don't really understand a collector's mentality.
Yeah. It's just that to have that particular item to complete your collection, you'll pay a lot of money, won't you?
Yeah, of course I will. But I don't see many people knocking people that pay expensive or lots of money for expensive
cars.
Well, yeah, a car. Well, you take it to a car. You drive a car. You drive a brand new car off a forecourt, and you've lost 5% of what you've just paid.
This is going up in value.
Well, I would.
It's investment.
The thing with stuff like this is all records and collectability of records have a shelf life because the ages of collectors move on, right? So when I first started 40 years ago buying and selling records, the big market was rock and roll.
Elvis.
Right. Well, Elvis ain't too bad. That's a bad example. But we all fought for Jerry Lee Lewis. We all fought for Little Richard. All that sort of stuff. That market is effectively dead because all the people that are buying stuff 40 years ago, unfortunately,
also dead.
Are also dead or very old. So that market, there's still a niche. There's still a niche market for rock and roll, but generally speaking, it don't exist.
Right. Into little sections.
And the problem is with 60s stuff today, you're not getting many youngsters interested in the 60s.
Beatles, surely though.
The Beatles are a different kettle of fish because they self-perpetuate generation after generation. This stuff that I've shown you today only appeals to a niche market.
And that niche market in 40 years' time won't exist.
Yeah, well...
Or 20 years. It's been depressing. We're depressing people here.
Yeah, I mean, to a great extent, you still get bands like Pink Floyd, who are essentially a 70s band. You still get people like Led Zeppelin, who are a 70s band.
Pistols?
I think you can't. I don't think you could connect the Pistols with the two bands I've just mentioned. I mean, because they're a different genre of music. But those two bands I mentioned, they do to extent appeal to younger people. Not extensively, but there is a certain percentage of youngsters who will buy Zeppelin, who will buy Pink Floyd. But the thing is, they won't necessarily buy first issues. So they won't necessarily pay big money for the original issue. They'd be quite happy to pay £20 for a reissue Led Zeppelin 2 or Led Zeppelin 3 or whatever, but they won't pay the big money for the first issues. I think with everything, especially with music, I think there is a shelf life to a lot of the genres of music. The big market today, generally speaking, is for all the 90s and noughties stuff that you couldn't buy on vinyl. During the 90s and the 2000s,
there's a David Bowie album that never came out, and it's like it's super
there
rare.
was only 5% of all recorded music came out on vinyl. 95% came out on CD.
Yeah.
Back in the day, so it's the people now chasing that really small number of albums from that time. You get Manic Street Preachers, you get Oasis, you get all them bands, Charlatans, Radiohead, all them bands today that never sold on vinyl in the 90s and the 2000s are what people are buying today. So, well, I'm a bit of a dinosaur, I know, but...
well, me too. But listen, Dave, it's been good. Thank you for the chat. I hope people have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, smash that like button. Sorry about that. If you have enjoyed it, smash that like button, comment on the channel. Don't abuse Dave's pricing because it's wrong. Not the pricing's wrong, but you commenting's wrong. And we'll see you at the next one. Thanks. You're at the next fair?
I will be here next time.
We'll do another one then.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody.